Hey, what's up, fam? As I think a lot of people have paid attention to and noticed the whole debacle around Vic Mignogna, big character, big guy in the English dubbing of anime. He's voiced a lot of good characters. Some of the ones that I've personally probably had some favoritism in are, you got Mard Gear and Crow Bronwyn. But I've met the guy. He seems really nice, but he has a lot of rumors and allegations around him. Now, some people believe it, some people don't. Obviously, innocent till proven guilty, but some people don't believe that. Some people believe that once you just hear about it, then it is truth, regardless if you actually know it or not. Just go with it, and they should be punished accordingly. Now, because the internet is the internet, and pro Vic people are gonna say, "All right, okay, let's see how this goes." And while there's sides that are looking in to prove Vic innocent, there are sides to look into all the people that have thrown him under the bus. And lo and behold, to all the extremely stupid people that instantly threw Vic under to try and keep their images clean, are now having things found from their past and being brought up. Things like the voice of Krillin talking about how he likes to stalk and do little boys. Monica Rial talking about rape jokes on podcasts. You have Sean Shamel talking about what's funny is he talks about how he understands that as the voice of Goku, he represents Dragon Ball as a series, and yet then he goes on to talk about how everybody who supports Trump is a bigoted, racist, Nazi piece of shit. So good job, pretty much insulting half of the fan base, insulting half of the people that are probably watching your show and say, man, I really like Dragon Ball. They like Goku. They like the voice behind Goku, only to find out that if you like Trump, the voice of Goku thinks you're a piece of shit. So, sorry to everyone about that. But also now we have Christopher Sabat, the voice of Vegeta, and All Might. He thinks that calling people faggot and using the term faggot as like a just a go around word to use is okay, and it's actually not even saying it's okay. It's a good type of dialogue. Now, I for one don't really care about saying insults through the internet. Like whatever, you don't have to really take anything over the internet seriously, but there are people that do. And when you kind of tread on this area where you're saying I represent this figure, I represent this brand, but also at the same time I know I'm a public figure and I have to set a standard and do all these things, and you also have this idea of what's okay and what's not okay, but then you go around dropping homophobic slurs like this. It probably doesn't look too good on your character. Now I'm curious to know what other things are going to be dug up on these people, but so far it's not looking good for them. It's not looking good for any of them. It's just seemingly everything is falling apart around them. Now, what I kind of want to go around this is if you're going to live around this mindset of, well, I'm just going to go with this. I'm going to go within this mentality of, the internet decides your fate. We don't care whether or not there's proof, whether you did it or not. We're just going to go with whatever's safest for us on the internet. Well, let's see how they fare against this, and let's see how all these guys who now have all these things brought up against them and being found out related to them, and how exactly it's going to impact their future. I don't know how the voice of Vegeta, who's supposed to be this bad guy turned good, really should be going around with calling people faggot or even All Might. You got a guy who's supposed to represent the pinnacle of heroes. And something I actually thought was quite amusing is recently there's been that whole debacle over Deku calling Piccolo saying he looks like a villain, so he must be a villain in Jump Force, and people making racist Deku jokes. So something that I was wondering is whether or not potentially All Might's homophobia led to Deku's racism. We'll find out more eventually. And it's obviously that is a little bit of a joke on the whole debacle of things, the unfortunate side of how everything is kind of turning out. But that's just how it is when you go with this mentality of the internet is the guillotine behind what you do. things are going to go against you and start looking into you once you start upsetting the wrong people. Once you start pissing people off, they're just going to say, okay, let's see what you've had to say. Let's see what exactly it might be against you if you're going to do these things. And it's, as unfortunate as they may be, you shouldn't jump into that game while at the same time having things that are going to come against you. You're not going to, as the old saying is, what is it? Those who live in glass houses shouldn't throw stones. That's kind of how it is in this whole mess. You just immediately say, okay, we're gonna, this is all happening. I'm gonna have to get on this side, and I know there's no proof. I don't know whether or not, there's gonna be any way to go with this claim, this accusation of this guy that you supposedly knew for years and were friends with, and you're just going to throw him under the bus like this and not expect people to say, okay, what are we going to find on you? You're an idiot. You're completely foolish if you don't think that people are going to start looking into what you're doing when you draw attention to yourself. If all these people said, we don't know whether or not this is true or not, or they stayed quiet until proof came out, or they just didn't say anything, nobody would have looked into what they had to say. Nobody would have said, okay, let's do a deep look into Christopher Sabat. Let's look deep into Sean Chamel, or however you pronounce his name. Let's look into deep into Monica Rialto. But only when they started to toe into this whole game of kind of the internet drama career implosion did people really want to look into this. What was funny is recently a lot of the internet was on Monica Rial's side because she dunked on somebody who made a fake account just to try and say Dragon Ball was sexist, and people were like, okay, cool, she's gonna, she's telling this this person trying to just stir up drama what to do, and then immediately after that backstabs one of her friends who she might try and claim, oh, it's not my friend. There's enough pictures, videos, recordings online where you clearly speak very highly of Vic Mignogna. A lot of Twitter and Instagram posts where clearly you're comfortable with him, and then suddenly he's the worst man on the planet. He's done all this wrong to you. I don't think so. I don't think how this is. I think this has just been you taking advantage of a situation. So really tell me in the comments what you think about this. How do you think this is really going to go for some of these guys? You have these people who just kind of believe in the public court, but unfortunately for them, it looks like they're going to fall into their own trap. How do you think that's going to go for them? How do you think it's going to go further for the voice of Vegeta and All Might now that their people have taken screenshots and taken notice of him saying that using homophobic slurs are okay? How is he gonna, what is Funimation and all these things gonna think about that in the long run? What are they gonna respond to that? Well, what's gonna happen when people say, why are you employing somebody who's clearly saying that homophobia is okay? I don't know, but we'll see how it goes. We'll see how this whole mess unravels. But other than that, I'd really appreciate it if you'd spread the word. Comment below on what you think about all this. Befriend the like button, thumbs it up, and subscribe for more. I try and keep a loose level of videos on this whole drama. Not too much. I don't want it to feel like some form of drama channel, but every once in a while, like maybe once a week or so, I'll do a video on something if if the topic's flared up enough, if there's any new big reveals in it. I know there's a bunch of other channels that have been looking into this, and you should probably go check them out. You got Yellow Flash, that Umbrella guy, Senpai's Home, SG Sammy. Go give them a peek. Go look them up. They've been covering this a lot better than I have, but I just wanted to give a little bit of input on this and see how it was going. All right, like I said, appreciate everyone who subscribed and check out my channel for more content. Until then, I really appreciate everyone who's already subscribed, and I appreciate you all for listening. Bye.